Hi guys, welcome back to Nyx Reads, where we talk about books, so feel free to subscribe if you love bookish content. I'm doing a short review of The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. This was one of my most anticipated 2022 book releases. Just as a heads up, I'm going to be intentionally leaving out certain details in my summary because it is a suspense novel after all. The Hacienda is a supernatural gothic story that is being marketed as a mix of Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia and Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I adored Mexican Gothic, which is why I was super eager to read this book. I have not read Rebecca, but I have watched the original Hitchcock movie. I have to say, while it takes certain elements of both and combines them, this book is not a retelling or a replica of either of those stories. Our protagonist is Beatriz, who is in her early 20s, and our setting is Mexico in 1823. Her father is tragically killed off in the Mexican War of Independence, so Beatriz and her mom find themselves in a very desperate situation with no one else to turn to but some very cruel relatives who they have to live with now. Until a very handsome but mysterious Don Rodolfo proposes to Beatriz, and she takes this lifeline as a ticket out of her misery. So they marry, and he takes her to his remote Hacienda San Isidro, which, on a side note, to me it was funny that it was called that way because that's also the name of the town where my parents are from. So that is Beatriz's new home, but that is also where Don Rodolfo's first wife died under sudden circumstances. And the new beginning, the new life that our protagonist was yearning for turns out to be a bit difficult because the upkeepers and anybody else in the hacienda meets her with hostility. And the tension builds as Beatriz starts to see visions in that hacienda and hears voices that really shouldn't be there, but she seems to be the only one that acknowledges it. That is your setting, and this story is wonderfully haunting, atmospheric, and suspenseful, but in a very slow build kind of way. And staying true to the Gothic genre, it is not built like a fast-paced thriller. It is really focused on a more immersive reading experience, which doesn't mean that it's a slow read. I still flew through the story because the mystery really kept me going, and I wanted to see how Beatriz manages or tries to fight the darkness in her life in this new haunted mansion. One big piece of the story is, of course, the malevolent house that she finds herself in, but the conflicts don't stop there, which made the story very interesting because she also faces, or the characters also face, discrimination, racism, class system settings. And without spoiling anything, I think the author managed to put some very poignant conflicts in there that are relevant to this day. Because it is Gothic, there is a forbidden romance element in this book, which honestly I ate up. It really worked for me, and it's been such a long time since I wanted a relationship to go a certain direction while reading a book. And importantly, I liked the ending. I liked how the story was wrapped up. I did see the ending coming because I had wild guesses all over the place just because I wasn't sure what kind of route this book is going to take. I didn't know if it's going to go overboard with crazy or if it's going to stay a bit more reasonable, if you can say that about a haunted house story. So I did enjoy the wrap up of the overall story because the solution didn't come out of left field. It made sense to me and it stayed true to the actual story. I have so many good things to say about this book. It really didn't disappoint, but I do have some criticism. One of them is the lack of strength in the characterizations, especially for our protagonist Beatriz. The characterization of her personality, but also even how she just looked like, so her physical appearance. There was something missing there for me. It didn't feel complete. And while I agree with her actions, ultimately, I don't really see a character arc in her. And through her point of view is how we learn a lot about the other characters and their motives, but it is based heavily on her own very subjective assumptions. So I think that could have been handled a bit better. In total, I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. It is not a perfect book, but it was incredibly enjoyable. It was a page turner for me, and I cannot wait to read more from this author. So who do I recommend this to? I definitely recommend this to anybody who's a fan of the gothic horror or gothic romance genre. So especially if you read Mexican Gothic and you love that. While this book is different, I think it catches some of the same vibes. This book is for you if you like a slow burn suspense novel. And I also recommend this to readers who like female characters taking charge. This was a short review, but I hope this made you want to pick it up. I think it's a great atmospheric read, even in the summer, but especially if you're looking for books to put in your fall or autumn TBR, I think this is a really, really good pick. If you read this, please let me know what you thought of the story, and also if you have similar books that you suggest, because I really enjoyed this one. Please leave this video a like if you enjoyed it, and feel free to subscribe if you want more bookish content. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!